Good evening, oh my goodness. Why was that so
We
loud?
can hear you. We can hear you.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the East Windsor Regional School District. Written advance notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours ago. Such notice provided the time, date, and location of this meeting and included the agenda to the extent it was known at the time. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with law. Minutes of this meeting are being kept by the board secretary and will be made available promptly to any member of the public requesting them from the board secretary at 25A Leshen Lane, Hightstown, New Jersey. Minutes will be provided at cost and in accordance with board policy. Are there any board members present who believe this meeting to be in violation of the Open Public Meeting Act? There being none, we may proceed. In compliance with the fire code of the state of New Jersey, I call your attention to the emergency exits for this room, which are located behind the audience and to our left and right. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Item C.
Having read the materials received, I move the agenda be approved as submitted.
Second. Please poll the board.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Mahiri.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. Item D.
Be it resolved that the East Windsor Regional School District may hold two closed sessions at this meeting. These closed sessions concern HIB report of April 28th, 2025, and personnel. Minutes of these closed sessions will be made available to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Second.
Please poll the board.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Mahiri.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. We'll now move on to item 2, our student representative report.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to see all of you, and we are thrilled to share some of the recent school happenings. Sahana's currently at the ICDC trip in DECA, so I'll be sharing on behalf of our group. So for starters, we're thrilled to share that our DECA students from our DECA Business Club are currently competing at the DECA International Career Development Conference, or ICDC, which is one of the most prestigious business conferences globally. So we are so proud of our record number of national qualifiers who are representing our school at the national and international level, and wish them luck as they continue to showcase their hard work and compete in their competitive events. Next, our Hightstown High School band will be officially departing for their highly anticipated performance trip, and we are excited for them to have the opportunity to represent our school and showcase their talents while creating lifelong memories. Additionally, I want to give a report on sports, because many of our spring sports teams are currently in the heat of their competitive seasons, and we are so proud of our student athletes, as always. So for tennis, a huge congratulations to Anant Vasishta, who successfully defended his title and won the CBC Division Championship for first singles for the second year in a row as the top singles player. Next, our girls lacrosse team is having a fantastic season and is positioned to win the division title, so we look forward to cheering them on. Next, our varsity baseball team is currently going between first and second in the standings as we are watching. So best of luck to them in their upcoming matchups. Additionally, last Friday night, our junior class enjoyed an incredible evening at the junior prom. So congratulations to the class of 2026 and their advisors and class council, hosting a memorable night full of great memories. This Friday, we will celebrate Decision Day for our seniors, highlighting their plans for college, career, or military service. We will also honor our student athletes with a special signing day opportunity, which would recognize students who are committed to participating in a sport in college. There will also be photo opportunities, giveaways, and the chance to celebrate major milestones together as a class. On an upcoming Wednesday, Hightstown High School will host a full-day event dedicated to student mental health and personal growth. So we will follow a regular 8-period bell schedule, but during their PE classes, students will participate in special activities, which are set up. And the National Honor Society has an induction ceremony that will occur next week. So we want to congratulate all new inductees who have demonstrated outstanding commitment to scholarship, leadership, service, and character. And additionally, on the note of NHS, we're excited to announce that NHS hosted a successful blood drive a couple weeks ago, which contributed to a life-saving cause. Finally, we would like to recognize Mr. Vinson, who will be retiring after a dedicated career here at Hightstown High School. We wish him the very best in his next chapter, and thank you so much again.
Thank you very much for that informative report. We will now open our meeting to our public budget meeting for the 2025-2026 school year, and I'll hand this over to our board secretary, Mr. Paul Todd.
Thank you, Ms. Lands. My update will be very brief tonight. The last time that we met about our budget was at the end of February, where the board approved the preliminary budget. That budget was submitted to the county, and it was approved unchanged. So whatever we had talked about at our public hearing is still the case today, and that'll be the budget everyone will be voting on tonight. As is required by law, after the budget was approved by the county office, we advertised in the Trenton Times. That occurred on April 18th, which was several days ahead of the mandatory filing. In addition, we posted the user-friendly budget on the district website. That happened on April 17th. So there was a bunch of different areas individuals who were interested in our budget could have gone to make themselves familiar with our budget. Most importantly, though, we had the full budget document that's approved by the county was printed out and open for public inspection in the business office. Tonight, the actual budget approval will come with the rest of the agenda items on item 9M. I'm just going to remind Mr. Weeks, as he is reading off that resolution, that he should be reading off each of the lines as far as general fund, special revenue, debt service, and the different lines and the numbers. You don't have to read the whole resolution, just the chart, please. So that's all I really have as far as an update tonight. At this point, I will open up this piece of the hearing to the public for any public comments on the budget. Okay, not hearing any, I will turn it back to the board president.
Thank you very much. And we will now move on to our superintendent's report.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Just a few updates for this evening. I do want to begin just by taking a moment to thank our student reps who are coming to the conclusion of their year's service, I guess I'll call it. So definitely want to thank Sahana, who's not here tonight, but also Sanjeet. Been very informative throughout the school year, provide some great insight into what's happening here at Hightstown High School. This does serve as a reminder that as you are coming to the end of your time in this role, I did speak with Mr. Vincent. We need to be in the process of identifying your successor. So we typically will engage in that towards the end of May, and with the goal being kind of an introduction of sorts to. We've been kind of doing tandems and pairings. So hopefully we'll identify two student council members who we can introduce to the board at our June Board of Education meeting. On tonight's agenda, as Sanjeet referenced in his report, there's a resignation on the agenda, and that is for our Hightstown High School principal, Mr. Dennis Vinson. So I do want to congratulate him. 13 years of service to the East Windsor Regional School District and Hightstown High School. Very dedicated professional who I definitely believe serves as the face of the high school. He's here from dawn to dusk and beyond that, so definitely appreciate his commitment during his time. Obviously, he's not leaving yet, so I'll be getting on his nerves a little bit more for the next few months. He is scheduled to retire, I believe, the end of July. Subsequent to tonight's meeting, we will post. I don't think we posted today. I think we'll post tomorrow for his position. I believe this is I appreciate obviously the time of the year, to begin that search. The goal will be to identify his successor prior to the end of the school year. I'd like to create an opportunity for some transition while Mr. Vincent is still here, but definitely want to express a heartfelt sentiment for his service to the school district. I mentioned this, I guess, a few board meetings ago as a reminder that the date is approaching this week. This is a continuation, I guess, of the celebration related to our Governor's Educator of the Year recipients for this year. So we identified 2 individuals from each of our schools. This year, Mercer County has rekindled a tradition where we would celebrate these individuals at a county event. Ever since, I guess, post-COVID, this ended. And we've been exploring different ways through a number of different avenues to kind of bring it back again. So through some efforts of each of our districts within the county and the support of the Executive County Superintendent, we are going to celebrate folks this year at a luncheon at the College of New Jersey. That'll be on Thursday, May 1st at noon. Definitely excited about just providing another opportunity to kind of congratulate, celebrate, and acknowledge the outstanding efforts of our recipients within the East Windsor Regional School District. And they'll have an opportunity, obviously, to kind of share in that celebration with their colleagues from within the county. We have, as we do each spring, we have the state assessment, New Jersey Student Learning Assessment, that is connected to students in grades 3 up through the high school. So families should have been receiving communication if your child is connected to those grades. We'll begin at the beginning of May with our grades 3 through 5, and then we'll kind of transition mid-May at the middle school and then transition up to concluding with the high school. So if you haven't received communication about that, you should be receiving it. I know that the 3-5 schools sent out their communication to families last week. Coming up, I think we have our remaining Parent Advisory Council meeting, PAC night, as we refer to it here in the school district. That'll be on May 6th. I believe it'll be hosted here at the high school, encouraging families to come out and participate in that last meeting of the year. At the end of last week, within the weekly update newsletter, but also via email, we just provided a reminder that due to the fact that we did not use any of the 3 emergency closing days that are built into the calendar, that enables us to extend the Memorial Day weekend. So since we did not need to use those days, schools will be closed on Thursday, May 22nd, Friday, May 23rd, and in addition to May 26th, which was the original closing and observance of Memorial Day, schools will also be closed on Tuesday, May 27th, and schools will reopen on May 28th. 'Tis the season. In the spring, it's when we're gearing up for kind of our arts events. We have quite an abundance of events to kind of round out the school year. This information is located on our website. I did share these dates with the board this weekend. I will just indicate that I won't go into all of them, but I will say that the first school to, and this is not just related to performing arts, obviously there's also some visual arts events that we'll engage in this spring. But I will indicate that the initial events will be connected to Melvin H. Krebs Middle School, and we have our grade 6 concert on May 6th at 7 p.m., grade 7 concert on May 7th beginning at 7 p.m., and the grade 8 concert on May 8th beginning at 7 p.m. Now that's according to what I have. I don't think those dates have changed, but that's what we have there. Subsequent to that, May 12th, we'll have the GNR concert that'll be housed here at Hightstown High School. So May 6th, grade 6 concert, MHK. And with that, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. Any questions? No. Mark, do you know what the spring fling is at the elementary schools? I think it's, yeah, actually it says spring sing. One of them says spring sing, one said
I'm glad you asked. I've got some amazing elementary principals here tonight. You said spring sing?
Sing or fling.
Connected to me see.
WCB, Walter C. Black on
WCB.
May 9th. It might be. I'm looking, I only see the one now. So it's like a dance event for the students. That's fantastic. Okay, thanks. I was just curious if, we would want to come and witness the activities. Thank you.
Would you like to dance? Would you like
No.
You sure?
Okay, very good. If there's no other questions, we'll move on. Our first opportunity for board member comments. No board member comments. We'll move on to our first.
Sorry, I think.
Okay.
Yes, hi.
Agree. Very good.
Sorry. I just wanted to thank all the board members, Mark, the district, and the custodians, the teachers, and our amazing kids for our second science symposium. We had more than double teams from last year. Last year we had 11 teams. This year we had 24. And I want to be very thankful and grateful. We had amazing scientific innovation that was presented by our amazing kids, ranging from kindergartner to 8th graders. So I wanted to thank everyone to coming out and supporting our amazing kids and scientists. Thank you.
Thank you, Jagruti. It was an amazing event. If anyone didn't get to go out, I strongly recommend to go last year. And I think we all need the instructions for the Lego toothpaste squeezer to be sent around to all the parents in the district, because we all have enough Lego, and we can get that last little bit of toothpaste out of the containers in these financially stressful times. So thank you. Any other comments? Okay, so we'll move on to our first opportunity for public comment. Any members of the public wish to speak? Okay, there being none, we will now move on to item 9. Sorry, somehow when I was talking, my agenda moved. I knew we were going into an exec session, so we will move into exec session. We'll be probably 20 minutes. Thank you. welcome back from exec session. We'll continue on with our board meeting this evening, and we will begin with number 7, old business. So we have our next committee meeting will be on May 12th, which will be a curriculum committee meeting, and wellness will take place on June 9th. Those are the next 2 coming up. This evening we did have a finance committee meeting. Nicole, did you want to go over that really brief agenda?
Oh, I was going to do it in comments. You want to do it now?
Yeah, I don't know, we've been doing it here. We can do it in comments. It's fine.
No, it's fine. The finance committee met before the board meeting. The first part was the budget, as Paul said. It was the final reading of the budget. It was advertised on the 18th of April. The county had no revisions, and there were no comments. The second part is we discussed and we got to view the security vestibule in the high school. For those that aren't aware, there was construction, I think it began in the summer, to take the old principal's office and designate part of that to be the entrance for guests and visitors of the high school. So when you come in, you're not coming into the main lobby of the high school for safety reasons. It looked great. There's a window, you're buzzed in. They're going to have bins if you're dropping things off for your child. So all guests and people visiting, whether you have an appointment or you're dropping something off, will enter through that vestibule. And I think they're still working on whether or not students will use that if they're late. And that was it.
Thank you very much for that concise summary. All right, next do we have any other additional questions on our student achievement update? We still have that on there, but.
Jenna was gonna
Oh, that's right. I apologize. That's right. We did just have, okay. We'll jump back to that. Was there any questions on the student achievement update? Okay, we'll keep that on the old business for now. And there was a policy meeting earlier this week. Earlier last week. I'm looking for the date. Okay, so it was last Tuesday. And Michael, would you like to give those minutes, or do we?
I think Jenna
You want
Jenna was,
to table it till next time,
we
unless?
can table it, but in summary,
the
we looked over the policies that we're doing
Okay,
first reading tonight. So
that's good, great enough. Thank you. Okay, all right. So we will now move on for our second opportunity for board member comments. Any board members have additional comments this evening or questions? There being none, we will move on to our second opportunity for public comments. Any members of the public wish to speak, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and you can also please write that on the clipboard for us, which is to the left of the podium. And to ensure we can hear you, at the bottom of the mic, there's a little person. You can just press that till the red light comes on and we'll be able to hear you well.
Good. Can you hear me? Great. My name is David Cargill. I live in East Windsor. My son Daniel is in 10th grade. And for 35 years, I've been involved with recreational fencing, sport fencing, and at all levels, so at recreational level. And I've worked as a referee for local high school events and also as a referee for college and national events, including the Junior Olympics. I'm here tonight to ask for your help and for Mr. Vinson's help in starting a fencing program at Heightstown High School. It could be as simple as an intramural club in a room such as this, getting together to have some fun. And I'm suggesting it for several reasons. First, fencing is fun. It is essentially a fast game of tag. It's one of the only sports in which children are encouraged to hit each other with sticks, but they wear appropriate equipment. Kids like it, and it attracts many students who don't play other sports. Size doesn't matter as much in fencing. Skill matters much more. For example, at one of the Olympics, the second number 2 fencer was 5'9", competing against an opponent who was 6'3", and he came in second in the entire competition. Fencing is safe. It's safer than baseball, basketball, football, hockey, lacrosse, soccer, and wrestling. Collegiate fencers have 2.43 injuries per 1,000 exposures. Other athletes have between 2.8 and 5.3 injuries per exposure. So it's actually safer. In fact, there's a list of Olympic injuries, and fencing is toward the bottom of the list, just below ping pong.
30 seconds, please.
Thank you. Fencing helps students get into colleges. I've spoken with a local fencing coach at one of the universities. He tells me he has some influence in getting children into college who participate in his fencing program. Local schools have fencing programs. Over 70 schools have fencing programs in New Jersey, including Princeton, Montgomery, West Windsor North, West Windsor South, Lawrenceville Prep, Hunn School, and Princeton Day School. Colleges have fencing programs: Princeton, Stevens, Drew, Fairleigh Dickinson, and New Jersey Institute of Technology. In fact, there's a higher conversion rate for fencers, high school fencers, to join college teams, much higher than for other sports. In fact, about 30 to 40% of high school fencers continue competing in college, which is outstanding.
If you could wrap up your comments, please, we're out of time.
Sure. The New Jersey Division of USA Fencing is offering a $1,500 scholarship to any school that initiates a program. I could start a program with no additional funding. I could come and act as a volunteer coach. We don't have to have paid referees until we have enough people who are interested. We could get a program going very easily. I'd be happy to take any questions or talk to any of you afterwards. Thank you.
Mr. Cargill, right?
Yes.
All right, so thank you for sharing that tonight. What I'm going to ask you to do, if you have any information you could send to me via email, and also include Mr. Vincent on that. I will say that we're always looking for potential opportunities to develop student skills and talents and have opportunities for them to build confidence, but also potentially have pathways for post-secondary experiences. So typically, for us, we assess a few factors, the initial factor being student interest, and then we'll look at the viability of establishing something. But definitely, if you have any information you can share, we can review that and we can continue the conversation. All right? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other members of the public who wish to make a comment? There being none, we'll move on to item 9.
Amanda?
mandated policies for first reading. Item A, policy 5111, eligibility of resident, non-resident students. Item B, policy 5460, high school graduation. Item C, policy 5512, harassment, intimidation, or bullying. Item D, policy 5533, pupil smoking. Item E, policy 7441, electronic surveillance in school buildings and on school grounds. Item F, policy 8500, food services. Item G, policy 9163, spectator code of conduct for interscholastic events. Item H, policy 9320, cooperation with law enforcement agencies.
Any questions?
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Meharry.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. Item 10.
Mandated regulations for first reading. Item A, regulation 9320, cooperation with law enforcement agencies.
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Meharry.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. Item 11.
Recommended policies for first reading. Item A, policy 5701, plagiarism. Item B, policy 5710, student grievance.
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Meharry.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. Item 12.
Motion to approve routine items by exception. Having read the materials received, I move that the board approve the routine agenda items as submitted. Item A, staffing for April 28th, 2025. Item B, HIB report for March 24th, 2025. Item C, approved travel and related expenses, virtual and in person. Item D, approved GNR surplus library books for disposal for donation. Item E, approved new field trip sites for upcoming trips. Item F, approved new HHS scholarship opportunity, Leonard J. Milner Memorial Award for community service. Item G, approved HHS scholarship opportunity, interfaith and service scholarship, essay writing. Item H, awards and scholarships at Heightstown High School. Item I, approved WCB PTO donation. Item J, approve acceptance of revised additional 8% of New Jersey high-impact tutoring competitive grant funding. Item K, approve HHS senior trip to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, June 2025. Item L, out-of-district placement. Item M, professional services for students. Item N, adoption of 2025-26 budget. Motion for approval of the school budget for full year 2025 through 2026. Be it resolved that the budget be approved for the 2025 to 2026 school year, 2025 to 2026 total expenditures. General fund, $131,372,100. Special revenue, $2,145,000. Debt service, $2,274,406. Total, $135,791,506. Less anticipated revenues, general fund, $57,914,532. Special revenue, $2,145,000. No debt service, and total is $60,059,532. Taxes to be raised, General Fund, $73,457,568. No special revenue. $2,274,406 in debt service, with a total of $75,731,974. Item O, transportation quote. Item P, bus evacuations. Item Q, co-op purchases. Item R, professional service contract, GZA Geo Environmental Incorporated. Item S, award bid for replacement of HHS Stadium scoreboard. Item T, reject bid for replacement of EMK rear playground improvements. Item U, approval of an EUS. Item V, board meeting minutes for March 24th, 2025. Item W, executive session board minutes, March 24th, 2025. Item X, report of the board secretary and financial report for February 20th, 25. Item Y, expense and transfer reports of school monies report for February 2025. And item Z, bill list of April 28th, 2025.
Second.
Any questions?
Comment more than a question. I just wanted to mention, thank you to the administration for reacting to the funding issues we had this year with the state funding. I think the budget is a good reflection of the values of the district while being responsible to the taxpayers of the district. And I think a job well done in pulling this together with the amount of time we had this year. I'll also just throw in, it's typically the role of the board president, but thank you to the Walter C. Black PTO for their donation of a shade structure for their playground. Thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Yes, I had comments on both of those, so very good. Thinking alike here. So thank you, Paul, for all of your hard work that you do to keep us afloat and running optimally. I did have a question on item, make sure I'm here. Item S about the scoreboard. If you can just provide a little more insight. I know we had talked about it earlier in the week, but so the other board members and the public could understand what's going into the scoreboard and what's involved in replacing it.
Sure, no problem. Thank you very much. So if you've been to any one of our football games or any athletic event out on the turf field over the past few years, you probably experienced in the middle of the game the scoreboard going out multiple times, and we have lived through that for several years. So this is a project that's a long time in the coming. As in most things, there is a certain amount of obsolescence that as you move along, what was acceptable 10, 15 years ago is no longer the case. So we will be replacing with this award our turf field scoreboard, which will look different than what is out there now. Now it's more of what you would see, not to the extent, a professional arena, but it'll be a complete video board as opposed to, just part video. What's nice about it is that it'll be able to adapt to different sports. So what you see for a football game will not necessarily be what you see for a soccer game or a lacrosse game. You'll be able to change it. You'll be able to do videos on it. I'm really excited to see what our students and staff can do. We have a very small but active TV production crew, and we can tie students into it, sideline cameras, you name it. It's pretty exciting. But with that, there's going to be a little more work. It's not just taking down one board and putting up another board. There's going to be some site work, not extensive, but some site work. There's going to be additional trenching that needs to be done for electrical capacity. We've probably talked about this on and off, but once upon a time, the field out there was an orchard back in the 60s, and they used pesticides, which have been trapped underneath encapsulated with a concrete slurry when they built the turf. When they actually go to drill the new steel supports for that scoreboard, they're going to go through that protective layer and bring up some of that contaminated soil, which needs to be disposed with care. So all of that kind of plays into the cost of this board. So it's not just, this is the cost of the board, they're taking it down and putting a whole new one in. The whole thing has to be demolished, brand new steel structure needs to be put in place, and the new board put in. So we're looking that to happen over the summer, and hopefully this will be ready for the start in September. If not, probably a couple weeks into the school year, but nothing extensive, hopefully, fingers crossed.
Great, thank
that
you
is
for
the
that
scoreboard.
detail. Thank you very much, Paul.
So there'll be a capacity for a roving camera? Is that what you?
Roving cameras, stationary cameras, it can be as complex and complicated as you want to make it, or it can be as simple as you want to make it. If you wanted, you could have a community event out there and play a movie, or have something, a video or videos. We have the middle school graduation out there. It can be tied into that. So it is definitely, multifunctional, definitely will be used outside of just, don't think this is just for football. It can be used in a lot of different ways. Will be.
And what's the expected date for this? Just one more comment on our vote on the exception items. The item with our travel expenses, we will have to be voting by necessity on our own travel expenses, because we're all listed there, so we can't abstain from that vote to approve our travel expenses to the school board's convention.
Yeah, you'll just, abstain on your own name, vote yes to the rest.
Okay.
Thanks for that reminder, Bob. Any other questions?
Yeah, I do have a couple of questions for Paul. Since we are going to be installing new electrical wiring for the scoreboard, is it going to be underground wiring, and is there additional transformers that we have to put in, or what is the setup that will be put? Second thing, when you're going to be taking out the turf itself, what's the area square footage that we'll be tapping into? And do we need the EPA to come and make sure it's okay before we plan the new turfs, before the scoreboard is placed?
So the first thing you're asking about is the electrical capacity. So I don't think there's another transformer that needs to go out there. They will be tapping into the existing electric. They'll be running a trench behind the main stands, going all the way down and all the way back. The new scoreboard will be approximately in the same area that the other one is in. And then as far as your second question was about the disturbance of the soil, I could get that from the architect. It's not extensive. It's however big the post is that goes down, that comes out, that'll have to be disposed. So this project, one of the costs, which I didn't mention, which we have a licensed site remediation specialist, an LSRP, who will be filing reports with the DEP. We are also constantly monitoring the site, and we have to file quarterly reports on the condition of the site, just to make sure nothing's been disturbed and everything is the way it's been. So that has been ongoing ever since the turf field was put in. So so I guess you could say we are under DEP oversight. Will someone be coming out here to view it? I'm not quite sure that the disturbance is that big that it's going to require someone coming out to inspect it. But we have the Heightstown building inspector who will be by it. I'm sure if he had any concerns, he'll be sharing it with us and any other applicable officials that need to know.
So that whole area will be blocked off when the construction is, because people in summer want to use this portion of the field. They'll tie it all around the area when they start the
that is
construction.
correct. Yeah, that is usually standard when we have a construction area. We fence it off.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, poll the board, please.
Ms. Concepcion?
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Abstain from V and W, yes to the rest.
Mr. Laverty,
Yes, abstain from my own name on the travel expense.
Ms. Mahiri,
Yes.
Ms. Patel,
Yes from all except the expense for AC.
Mr. Weeks,
Yes, except for abstain from my name on the travel expense.
and Ms. Lands.
Yes, abstain from my name on the travel and related expenses as well. Can I ask a really quick question? Ms. Maduri and Ms. Concepcion, your names are on here, but you're not planning on attending? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. We probably just included everyone's names? Okay, I just wanted to double check. Thank you. Okay, since we do not need a second executive session, that concludes our meeting this evening. We voted. Yeah, we just ran it around. We ran around. I was the last one. I paused at the end. We can vote again.
No,
So, thank you everyone for